I'm not in the building, so we're going to walk you through exactly what to do right now while I'm not there. It's really important that you actually utilize this video and get through everything that's in this, so that way when I'm back on Wednesday, I will be good to go to move on to the next part of our essays, because that's what we're doing right now. So today you're going to be writing your thesis statement and beginning your introduction. And don't stress, I'm going to explain how to go about writing your thesis statement and where to find the document for that, so that way I can actually grade it and give you feedback before you move on to your body paragraphs. So let's look at the essay itself. So remember, you're writing a multi-paragraph essay with an introduction that has a defensible and precise topic/thesis, a minimum of 3 ACIT for non-honors and ACIT-CIT honors body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So now don't stress about the ACIT and ACIT-CIT. You'll get a lesson on those next class period, and also I'll be putting some resources for those in the folder. The writing prompt, as you'll recall, is how does August Wilson use narrative elements to build tension between the characters in Fences? And here is a word bank for your use if you need it. And these are all the requirements right here for the typed paper. Now, I have provided you a template in Schoology that is already set up with this. It also has the heading and a header. You just have to put in your own personal information into the heading as well as the header, and then give it a title that is centered on the page. And also you want to make sure that you then left justify everything, so that way it's fixed. So use the document provided on Schoology. So then this is what it would look like, and this is also what your citations will look like within there. Right here it shows a comma here. MLA no longer uses the comma after the author's name, so you can just ignore that. I forgot to update that in my document. All right, so now thesis time. Your thesis is going to be what your overall paper is about. Sometimes you might hear it called a claim, but for us, because we're doing an informative essay, it is literally just a standard thesis. The rubric refers to it as a topic, but I've tried to update the rubric to say both topic and assertions. All right, so this is what the rubric looks like for your thesis statement, and this is in the folder for rubrics on Schoology. And you don't have to talk about this right now. All right, so what is the topic of an essay or a thesis? It's the main point you're trying to make in your essay. It's often called a thesis. It can also be referred to as a claim if it's argumentative, but we're not writing an argumentative essay. We're writing an informative, expository, literary analysis, so it's a thesis. And once again, there's the rubric. All right, now your thesis must be a specific format to be collegiate level. It has to be defensible, so it should have more than one side, even though you're not arguing like a standard argumentative. So what this means is that someone else could say something different. You know, one person could say that August Wilson uses conflict. Another person could say that August Wilson uses epigraphs. That's all that is. And you can actually defend it with evidence from the text. It also, needs to be precise, which is why you believe what you do about the topic. So it must answer how, why, under what circumstances, or to what extent. This will make it really nuanced. You might have heard the term 3-point thesis, which would be what you believe about your topic plus 3 reasons why you believe it. That's a good thesis, and that would be met expectations, but it's not nuanced enough to be and exceeds expectations. So here's an example. That should say an example of a non-example. Pollution is bad for the environment. Yep, this is an obvious truth. It's not a thesis. It doesn't matter if there are people who don't believe in climate change. I think everyone can really agree that pollution is bad for the environment and also people's health. So it's an obvious truth, not a thesis. Here's another example. This is actually an example of a defensible thesis. Lowering greenhouse emissions is a solution to impact of high pollution rates. This is defensible as someone else could give a different reason, but it is not a complete thesis. It is missing the precision part, the reasons. Here is a thesis that is both defensible and precise. High pollution rates can be solved through lowering greenhouse emissions, investing in electric vehicles, and the creation of infrastructure that prioritizes lowering fossil fuel. This is the standard 3-point thesis that I already mentioned. It could be more interesting and nuanced to make it exceeds expectations. So let's look at that. From climate change to unhealthy air quality, high pollution rates are causing the Earth significant damage, which can be solved if humans begin investing in infrastructure that prioritizes lowering pollution and increasing clean sources of energy. It's much more interesting. It's no longer just a boom, 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 literal. It's not literal, it's nuanced. So this would be an exceeds expectation on the rubric. So now here's what you need to do. So once again, just showing you the rubric one more time with some different things pointed out. Answers questions. Conflict is a narrative element used in fences, just basic thesis. It should be defensible, more than one viewpoint, not an obvious truth such as August Wilson uses narrative elements. Here's better. August Wilson uses narrative elements to show tension, just a small change. And here is exceeded. You really want it to be precise and you really want it to be nuanced. Makes it very specific and something along these lines. August Wilson uses the narrative elements of conflict and parallel plot to create tension between Troy and his sons, Lyons and Corey. Better, but you know what? Truthfully be told, it's not very nuanced. It could be even stronger to make it above exceeded. So keep working and go even stronger. So this is your target to be at the met expectations for your ninth grade year. So I want everybody to push themselves to the met. All right, now it's time. So please go ahead and open up the thesis creation document. I want you to complete part 1 only. What do you believe about your topic? 3 reasons why you believe what you do. So go ahead and pause the video so you can do that. The next steps after you finish this document will be to write your introduction. But in the space provided, type what you believe know about the above essay topic, which is August Wilson. How does August Wilson use narrative elements to show tension in fences? Then list out your 3 main reasons for why you believe what you do about your topic. You know, that would be the narrative elements and how they create tension. Next step would then be to actually create the thesis itself, which is part 2. So in the document, same document you're working with, go down to the very bottom, to this box at the very bottom, and then write your thesis. Make it defensible, make it precise, make it nuanced for exceeds expectations. There are sentence stems for anyone who needs them. So if you follow this format, you will get at least a met expectations. You might get an exceeds depending on the language use that you use and also how nuanced it is. So remember, if you do the standard 3-point thesis, you're just going to get a met expectations. You won't get an exceeds. Once you have done that, make sure to turn in your thesis for feedback and a grade. I will do my best to give feedback on every single thesis today, so that way when you're writing your introduction, you'll have a solid understanding of where you stand with your thesis and whether or not it needs to be revised. So, speaking of introduction, in the folder for your Fences essay resources, there is a planning document. This is optional, but it's a great idea to utilize. So plan out your introduction. You want to give it a really good quote. So here's an example. You could use a quote, a question, an exclamation statement. Just remember, your essay has to be in 3rd person. It cannot be in 1st or 2nd person. So no I, me, we, our, you, your, nothing like that. You want to use generic terms, people, they, them, things of that nature. The only exception is in actual 100% quoted material. After you write your hook, you want to connect your hook to the text. You want to say what the text is. Put fences in italics, not quotes. Don't forget the author, and then give a short background of your topic, specifically a background of the text. Once you've done that, then it's your thesis. So make sure that the last sentence of your introduction is your thesis statement. Don't forget, it's not the first sentence of your introduction, it's the last. So now that you know what to do, make sure to plan out your introduction, and then once your introduction is planned out, you're gonna just transfer it into the template provided on Schoology. And again, if you don't want to use the planning document for your introduction, you don't have to. You can just type it directly into the document, but the planning documents are there in case you use them. If you want to get ahead of the game, feel free to start on your body paragraphs. So check out my videos on writing ACIT paragraphs, which are the collegiate level paragraphs. So there's a slideshow and there's a video in the folder. You can either walk your way through the video, or better yet, watch the video. It's 13 minutes long, but I thoroughly explain the deal with ACIT. So I look forward to seeing you in the next class, and I hope you have a great day. If you have questions, send me an email, and I will do my best to respond as soon as I see it, because I know it's stressful starting an essay without your teacher in the building. So have a great day. I'll see you all later. Bye.